Hey everyone, Coach Teresa here. Just wanted to give you an update on my progression this 2018. My goal is to become more flexible, and if you don't know, when you do flexibility training, you're really tearing apart the muscle fibers in your body. That's your goal, not your joints. If something happens to a joint, something's going wrong. And unfortunately, I got injured pretty badly 2 days ago. So I'm icing my ribs. What happened was I had just finished a pretty intense ab and back workout on Saturday morning. You know, I did my aerobics. I'm working on my handstands and my back and my core strength exercises that I was doing for myself. And instead of going home, I decided to finish that incredible core workout with a couple of meat hooks. And for those of you who don't know what a meat hook is, if you're hanging by a horizontal bar, or if you're hanging and you're bringing your legs straight up, that's called a toes to bar. I do that, super easy, but if you want to take it to a meat hook, you take your legs, toes go over your head, and then you're going to shoot your legs over your shoulder like you're doing a backward roll until you're laying sideways. And then you come back. It's kind of like skin the cat, where you actually bring your toes through your arms, but in a meat hook, you're bringing your legs over your shoulder, backward roll, and then back down. So you end up actually upside down and sideways, and then you recover, which, as a personal trainer, I know the very last thing you need to do is a meat hook at the end of your core workout. Stupid me, I did it. So in the middle of me hanging upside down off this bar in the gym with my legs over, pop! I felt not one, not two, but at least 4 of my ribs separate off the cartilage right here from my sternum to here. Pop out, just literally pop out. So I let go of the bar, jumped down, and I was like, And it's happened before. I've had a couple of problems with this rib right at the base of where the cartilage is. You have your floating ribs, and then you have the cartilage through your sternum, you know, the rib cage up here. And your ribs are like little bucket handles. They swivel here and where they're attached in the spine. So it's like a little bow thing, and they'll swivel. And what happened is I've been getting really a lot of adhesions up through here and into my ribs. So they're kind of sticking a lot right here if I don't really foam roll my back out and let that rib flap up and down. So what happened was the rib was totally stuck. It couldn't move. Dislocated right there. Boom. And I normally just have to lay down and take a deep breath and literally pop that rib back into alignment, and I can usually feel it go back in. Well, I spent 5 minutes on the floor at the gym doing that, and I started, you know, as the minutes went on, kind of starting to panic. I look back now, I was going into shock. And, you know, I tried laying on a ball to push it back in, you know, a big Swiss ball. Wasn't happening. I was getting cold. I started getting numb and tingly. I started going, this isn't good. So I drove around the corner to a chiropractor's office, closed. Drove myself home, just 5 minutes away. Told my husband I need some muscle relaxers now. We had some Flexeril. So like I said, this has been a problem. I was subluxating this arm out of the socket last year just by doing pull-ups. So I guess that kind of traveled down. So the adhesions that I had worked out in my chest and regained all the strength and healthy mobility in my arm somehow traveled down the spine. And I had been fighting these adhesions through my rib cage and my scapula, my shoulder blade, but I didn't think anything of it until I injured myself Saturday. So for the past 2 days, I was flat on my back. I had been doing ice packs, well, cool packs. So this was in the refrigerator. I stick it in here, and of course I'm wearing this for support. Up until about an hour ago, it was still very difficult for me to breathe or to cough. I was in complete agony. But I know from experience that I had to get this to release. This was what the adhesion was, and until I can get all of this to release, there's no way that that little rib is going to realign with the cartilage right here in this joint, because you have this joint here of all the ribs. So let me share with you what I did to realign that whole area, at least 4 ribs that are out. I mean, I can literally feel that bump that was right here on my right side. These 2 ribs up here, they were jutting out. My husband could even see it. As of right now, they are back in alignment. Oh, thank you, God. So I have this nice sharp angle here. I'm going to go with bent legs, leaning up against it on my spine. Tuck my tailbone under, so my tailbone's not hitting the wall, but my spine is. And I'm going to go to the right. So my spine is here, and I'm going to go to the right. So between my spine and my shoulder blade, I'm just rubbing that corner into it. And it's on the right side of my spine, opening up that little area between my shoulder blade and my spine. That immediately, just the relief of that. Okay, so it was still hurting, still couldn't breathe real well. I started doing shoulder shrugs. That was so immobile. And I started doing a little bit more, getting the shoulder rolls, and then pop. Ooh, something released back there. So I was able to start kind of going a little bit deeper, doing maybe some whatevers, pulling the shoulder blades together, really grinding into that space between the shoulder blade and the spine and releasing it. Suddenly I could breathe without pain. Why? Because once this adhesion back here was released, it allows my ribs to flap up and down. And when that rib can flap up and down, now I know I can push it back into place. And that's what I did. Once that happened, I went ahead, I started feeling, here's my sternum, started feeling the cartilage that was out of place. Inhale, hold the inhale, push down, maybe even up a little, roll the shoulder forward. And I kept doing that until everything really settled down. Suddenly, I felt great. The next step was to continue with that. I have a foam roller. Okay, I'm just putting it right here behind me on my spine. And because I can't lay down, I'm not going to try to lay down. The past 2 days, my bed, which can elevate and depress electronically, has been helping me. So, or my husband's coming over and picking me up, dead weight. But I think by tomorrow I could try to lay back, but right now, So I bring my knees up. Okay, I lengthen and I push back. Oh yeah, and I feel a great pop between the shoulder blades, lifting and separating the vertebra. And at first it hurt a little bit. I did take 600 milligrams of ibuprofen before I started doing this, and I knew I had to get this back into alignment. I knew I had to get my back to release. And I'm telling you, friends, once you can do that, the pain here and the breathing, it's like night and day. The pain's gone. It's sore as hell because the joint was inflamed, and it's probably going to be inflamed for at least another week. But now it's back in alignment, and my back is moving. It's no longer glued together. Oh, it hurts to go forward, but it's okay because I feel my rib cage now lifting and closing the way it should. So you these little flappy handles of your rib cage should be able to lift and go back down. So, dear friends, if you ever feel pain through here, where your cartilage part of your ribs and the bony part of your ribs meet, could be out of alignment. It's very common for for gymnasts, contortionists to actually have that problem. So unfortunately, I am going to have to rest for another week or two. I can't do any of my crazy stuff, but hopefully by Thursday I can go back into yoga, continue with my backward bending, lay off all ab work for at least 3 weeks, and that should be able to realign my back and get the mobility back without doing too much muscle tearing or damage. My number one goal is to get the joints that separated to close, remain closed, to keep my rib cage mobile and to reduce the inflammation that's currently in there. I know from the professional standpoint that once that occurs in about 3 weeks, I can start going back into leg lifts, hanging toes to bars, and doing my pole fitness and circus arts, but very, very gently and gradually. I'm in my mid-40s. You know, I'm getting back into doing some pretty crazy stuff that I haven't done in 20 years. So I know I need to be patient with my body and let things catch up. Thanks. That's what's up. Bye.